so Robin McKenzie got to hear about me or got to read some of my work, liked the way that I wrote, and contacted me sometime in the late 1990s and asked me, his initial request was to see if I could help him edit a few chapters for a new book, for a new edition of the lumbar spine. That was his initial request. It actually turned out to be writing three new books over a period of 7 or 8 years, in fact. So we first of all wrote the extremity book. That was published in 2000. This was an application of the McKenzie principles of mechanical diagnosis and therapy to the extremities, which was entirely new in those days. Obviously, this is 20 years later and people are much more familiar with that concept, but it was very early in those days. So the approach, the way we did it was particular to introducing a concept, an old concept, a familiar concept, but to a new area. So it was written in a very different way from the second editions of the lumbar spine, which was published in 2003, and then the cervical and thoracic spine, which was the second edition again, which was published in 2006, which I was very involved in the writing of those with Robin McKenzie. I was continuing then in clinical practice as well as doing the writing, so I was a pretty busy man. Lots of late nights and long days working, as you can imagine. And then I was also beginning to publish quite a bit in the scientific literature as well, and the whole process of the very different writing articles for journals, for scientific journals, compared to writing clinical books. And so my publication list was building. I wrote lots of different types of papers. This included some case studies, so we could begin to introduce, for instance, the use of extremities in mechanical diagnosis and therapy, case series, qualitative studies. I was involved in a number of randomized controlled trials and secondary analysis of those. I did quite a lot of cohort studies. I was involved in a number of systematic reviews and have continued to publish probably more in systematic reviews than anything else, particularly in later years. So I was building up that. My publication list now sort of is over 100 articles, chapters in books, and the books themselves.